I went to college to play ball. When I saw that after I got to college that I wasn't going to play, like it became like clear to me that hey, you're never gonna play.
That's one
You
thing
know?
too. I'll be telling people all the time. Like everybody, that's the dream for us. Want to play basketball or
Yeah.
football. So like the reality hits us. It's like, damn, what do we do now? And I feel like so many people just always feel stuck. Like, damn, like I was so focused on being an NFL player, NBA player that like now I'm just like I'm in college or I'm just at home, just
Yeah.
like you know what I'm
And,
saying?
and the thing is, it's like I think it should be like an actual like diagnosis, like hoop dreams,
Yeah.
like football dreams, like sports dreams, like it's a real diagnosis. And like you said, like a lot of people are actually not able to shake it. You have, and it's crazy. One of my artists asked me the other day while I was speaking to him, and he said, "Do I feel like I've reached my peak yet?"
Damn.
And I was like, "Reach my peak." I was like, no way in hell. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I can say hell on here. I'm like, there's no way I've reached my peak. I feel like I'm nowhere close to my peak.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, like, you realize that some people, like, peak out in high school, you know?
I seen it.
Or they peak out in college. And it's true. Like, I've been a high schooler, I've been a college student, I've been a law student, and I've seen people peak, at all different levels,
Damn.
like all different levels. So it's a real thing, especially for athletes, because athletes, they're almost like musicians, but with an athlete, it's like that lifespan is so short,
So short, bro.
because you're actually in the mix. Like a musician, you're like grinding to get in the mix. An athlete, you could automatically start off as one of the biggest athletes in your district, one of the biggest athletes in your conference. You could easily be that. You could
Yeah.
be a top player. You could be a five-star recruit. You're already on ESPN. You're on Overtime. You're on Ball is Life. You're everywhere. You're already doing that. And then something happens, that that marginalizes you into now being at your peak, whether it's an injury, whether it's grades, whether you don't get drafted,
Seen it all, man.
whether it's a life circumstance, like there's so many different things that could happen. And you have like these athletes that go from college and they have so much professional dreams. Like that's why you have all this crazy shit happening in like Planet Fitness and LA Fitness, people like hooping and
Get
taking it
mad
serious,
and
like
shit. I
they
saw
fighting
that,
each
yeah.
other, people playing like, they're in the NBA tryout, like it's a real, I feel like, I don't want to call it a sickness, but it's a real diagnosis. Like people really having sports dreams, and it's harder for football players, because football players, you don't have that many options. You're either in the league or you're playing in high school or college,
Yeah, can't go
or
overseas like
yeah,
that, yeah.
you might go overseas. Like they have the Canadian League,
Oh,
you know.
really? Yeah.
So it's like you might play in the Canadian League. But outside of that, like, what are you gonna do? Start a community league where you guys go to academy and buy pads? It's like, you know what I mean? Like you're not gonna do that. So it's like that is even limited. But for basketball players, like man, like don't they have like AAU for like 40-year-olds now or something? Like
they got-
where you
they
can
got-
like keep playing forever.
Or it's the
you know?
40-year-old,
Yeah.
or it's like the 18-year-old trooping with the 14-year-old.
Yeah,
It's
it's
what I'm
like
saying?
for basketball players have it the worst. And it's nothing against them. Like I wouldn't say I fault them for it, because at the end of the day, like I always have like a real understanding for whether it's creatives or athletes, right? And I would never, they're talented people. They're born with something that not everybody has or not everybody's able to achieve,
Yeah.
but the people around them need to let them understand that there are multiple options in life. You don't just have to be an athlete to be successful, or just because you're already a successful athlete doesn't mean go to college and major in communications. Because if you don't make it as an athlete, or if you retire at the age of 28, and you don't make a whole bunch of smart investments,
Investments.
then what's going to happen with the rest of your life? Like, no offense to anybody having a communication degree or anything like that, because at the end of the day, a degree is not the only way to be successful in life. But, you know, you want people to have a real contingency plan. You know, like people always, you know, everybody has all these quotes like, oh, there's only one way, plan A and plan A only, you know,
Yeah.
no plan Bs, you know. But you could have two equal plan A's, you know, or you could create options for yourself. I'll be honest, the only reason why I went to law school was because I wanted to create the option for myself to be a jack of all trades. I don't want to have to be a lawyer for the rest of my life. If I wake up and decide that I don't want to be a lawyer, I could go become a realtor. You know,
Yeah.
I already have the degree for it. I already have a doctor's degree. I could go become a professor.
Yeah.
You know, if I want to go decide I want
That's-
to do things for my community, I could go become a congressman.
Yeah.
You know, if I want to, like, the possibilities are endless. I could go become a sports agent. You know, the possibilities are endless for what I could do with my degree, because I was always good at school, but I wouldn't say I was the biggest fan of school.
Yeah.
You know, but I was like, if I'm gonna go to school, I need to give myself the most variety of options ever. You know,
Are
like,